Welcome back everyone. In today's video I'm starting a new series on YouTube, High Kill Games and Carries. This series is basically just me using some leftover footage of high kill games or carries that I have to make extra videos with since there isn't enough footage to make a full length review video on. They are also easier to make so they take me less time, which is also helpful. And in today's video I have two matches with the P-51D-30, a 5 kill game against some VVC clan members, and a 6 kill game. I will be using commentary for this video, but I cannot promise that there will be commentary on all of the other videos that I make in this series. Anyways, let's hop into the first game. We are first going to look at the match where I got 5 kills against the VVC clan. Rmax ended up killing 2 of them, where I ended up killing only 1. This was a 3v4 considering our squads. However, our 4th man Katusha did die pretty early on because some sort of bomber BS that I don't really remember. However, I am diving on Boko here, and I want to force him down. And I do keep in mind that Rick is up there to the left. And what I want to do right now is just force everyone down. Because our team, although there's not really many numbers, we are in a position where if we push them down, we have complete control over this scenario. So I start diving down towards the J7W. The Hornet makes a very nice pass and severe damages him. He's in a flat spin and he's directly in my path, so I do end up taking him. And now I'm going to pull up and go for Boko because he is the highest right now. He's trying to remain up there. However, Circa is going to push him down, cause him to defensive fly, and right after he pulls off, I am going to get a very quick snapshot. However, shooting people accurately at those speeds is very hard, and so I only ended up getting a hit. And now I'm going to just extend away. There's no reason for me to waste all my energy in a pointless maneuver, rather than just climb away. Rmax comes in now, and as long as I keep extending, gaining my speed, or putting my speed into altitude I should say, I'm going to be just fine. And at this point I do feel comfortable enough to start looping back over Boko, and he is still going to be my primary target. And so right now I'm just kind of diving into the middle of the furball just to see who is going to be the easiest to kill. Boko turns to the left, and that's away from the furball, so I want to make sure that I'm going for an enemy that I know I can get out of the match. So I'm going to go for this 109 who doesn't really seem to be paying attention. I forget about Dramalek because I didn't think he could pull into that, and I got kind of lucky there. He only ended up hitting me with one gun, and now I have to dodge him. And as you can see, Rmax comes from the heavens, Dramalek wasn't paying attention, and he ends up getting blown to smithereens. I now aggressively loop back over as everyone in that furball in the middle is getting distracted by Circa right now. And right now we're just going to take turns making passes on these guys until they're out of energy. I make a quick pass. Again, that's a very hard shot from my angle. I go head on with the HE-162. I get pretty good damage. I think that was his engine and his wing. I now go head on with the 109. He shoots a bit late. I pull off. And I think those are 30s. I do end up hitting his engine here, which I can kind of tell from the oil, because there isn't really an oil on the 109 that's farther away from the engine. And as you can see, he's already slowing down, and I'm already outrunning him very easily. And so I'm just going to keep extending. I'm going to go towards the other 109 now, as well as Rick, because Rick did take care of that I-225. And yeah, I'm just going to keep extending. And I want to get Rick out of here right now because it is a high key 84, and I do feel confident enough that I'm not going to get jumped from behind because the 109 behind me does have engine damage. Rick tries pulling up, but I think he underestimates my speed here, and since I really need to kill him right now, I end up spraying about half my ammo, but I do end up taking him out. The 109 who was behind me is now below me and Circa, and he's going to be absolutely no trouble. I'm now just kind of diving away from the other 109, making sure this guy goes down, and right now it's just cleanup. Just making sure everyone goes down. We get the last guy. I get severe damage. Bit of bad aim there, however I do get another good shot there right at the end. And I pull off, and I want to make sure this 109 doesn't dive on me, so I am going to kind of pitch down. Rmax is on him. The 109 does end up trying to turn with him, however he's not really paying attention to me now that he's in a dogfight with Rmax, so I am going to do a bit of an aggressive move and pitch up after him here. And I don't really have very good aim here. I get a hit. I get severe damage. I think that was his tail control, maybe rudder. I think that was his tail control, yeah. Rmax almost rams me. The first 109 goes down, and the second 109 presents himself directly in front of me, and that is going to be game. We're now going to move on to the second match, which was a 6-kill game. And first we start off with head-oning a PM1. And I'm quite confident with head-oning these guys. They don't have the best armament for this. I get a pretty nice hit. However, it's nothing too severe, it looks like. I'm going to loop up because I do have plenty of speed entering this fight. However, the PM1 does go for someone else and kind of exits from the fight at the same time. However, he does end up dying to the P-63 in that secondary head-on. And after taking a couple pot shots, just trying to make sure I get an assist, I pull back up and start heading towards the other enemies. And in this situation, multiple Spitfires, multiple Yaks that are above me or at the same altitude as me. I don't really want to go into that, so I am just going to kind of side climb away from that for a ball, and just until I'm comfortable, kind of wait until I either get above them or wait until they dive down, or just kind of, yeah, wait until I feel comfortable. And right now, all the Yaks are following Katyusha, and he's not in too much of a pickle. Katyusha is in a P-51D, and he's much faster at this altitude. I'm going to go for the Spitfire along with P-Trude here. However, he does do a very odd maneuver, some sort of like -G at the last second, and I can't really roll over in time, so I try and use my rudder, and I think we all know how bad the P-51's rudder is, and so yeah, I end up whiffing. Since P-Trude is chasing the Spitfire, I'm going to turn to the right and help Katyusha, or at least try to, because, again, 3 Yak-3s following 1 P-51, that's just, you can't turn around. You have to get help from a teammate if you want to turn around. And if we don't help him now, he's basically going to be running all game. And so right now I'm just kind of making my way over slowly. I'm trying to make a mental note of where the other enemies are, because after we get done dealing with these guys, we can quickly kind of go to the spot where the enemies were seen last, and it just makes it easier to kind of finish the game faster. This Yak-3 goes head on with me. I don't know if he shoots any rounds, but he does end up dodging, which was the smart move. And now after the head-on, P-Trude is going to go after him with the split S. And I'm going to keep extending to help Katyusha, because he kind of needs it right now. There are still 2 Yaks following him. And there are a couple Me-264s that are in front of me. And since they're directly in front of me on the way to Katyusha, I am going to take a pass at one of them. I want to go for the left one because he is more broadside to me, and from this position, his turrets are harder to use, rather than the one that was to the right. And yeah, I take a head-on, or I don't take a head-on. I take a pass, I get 2 fires, and I want to get the heck out of there as fast as I can because I do not want to get hit by those 20s. And now, I just keep extending towards Katyusha. That Yak-3 ends up climbing quite a bit. However, as soon as I turn back around, the Yak-3 turns around and goes for a head-on with me. And I'm pretty confident with this. He doesn't end up shooting until very late, and he ends up full committing. And that's a very bad idea. My 50 cals have absolutely no problem tearing through his plane. And Katyusha ends up, I don't even know what that was. I think it was a hammerhead. A very nice kill by him. And right now I'm just going to kind of zoom climb up, gain as much altitude as I can before turning back in towards the other Yak-3. And there's also a Spitfire up there. But those are the only 2 fighters left at this altitude. Right now I just want to kind of gain a bit of speed in a shallow dive after I zoom climbed. Katyusha ends up spiking him, and since he's probably paying most attention to Katyusha, I'm not going to go for him. And yeah, as you can see, he's not looking for me. I end up getting a pretty easy shot. Take his wing off, he goes into a flat spin, and I end up securing him. And right at the same time, the Me-264 ends up going down, so it looks like I got a double kill within like half a second or whatever that was. And since there's a 2v1 up there, I am going to leave Katyusha and P-Trude to deal with that Spitfire alone. I end up diving to the deck, finishing that Yak-3 off. Before, what's it called? I didn't realize his wing was off until I was too close, so I ended up just shooting him down anyways. But now, after killing that guy, I am going to zoom climb up towards the Spitfire and the I-225. The I-225 ends up extending away from me, however the Spitfire is flying below me. So what I want to do, I want to go a bit to the side to kind of force him to turn more, climb more, bleed a bit more speed. And I'm just going to wait for him to stall out before I go down. And yeah, he's very slow at this speed. He's not really attempting to dodge. Very bad aim by me, however, I do get kind of lucky with an engine fire at the last second. I loop back over, and I'm now going to go for the I-225. And yeah, this is the last guy in this area. Spitfire goes down. I go head on with the I-225. I have plenty of energy. He pitches in for a last second head on. I don't really want to full commit to that because 420 mil Shavacs will absolutely decimate my plane. I loop over, and I am going to catch him here because I did start out with more altitude, and I am a D30. This is one of the fastest planes at this BR, and that's one of the main reasons I play it. This plane is awesome if you want to abuse top speed. I-225 pitches up for Katyusha, whiffs, and now I'm going to have no problem catching him. However, he J's out, and I'm not able to get kill number 6. We're now going to skip forward to the last 2 enemies in this area, which are the PM1 and the BF-109, who are ground pounding. I'm going to go for the I'm going to go for the PM1. I take a head on, but as you can see, my rudder's compressing at this speed, so instead of committing to that, I am just going to zoom away. Katyusha's going to make a pass on him, and as he's making a pass, I loop back over because he's not going to be paying attention to me when he's going for somebody else. Katyusha now goes for the 109. I say I have this guy in the bag. I get a hit, fire, and he goes down. That is going to be 6. And I'll save you the time. I ended up just kind of staying to farm AI while Katyusha killed the 109. And that's going to be game. So, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you want to see more videos like this, I will probably post them. I'll probably like make some sort of community post, leave it up to a vote on which planes you guys want to see. But yeah, that's about it for the video. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace out.